Hey guys, what's up? It's Raven here. Today I will be sharing my tips for playing my favorite game of all time, Tales of Xillia, with you guys. As I said in a previous video, I want to start making more videos revolved around video games, in addition to the videos I already make. And as you guys probably know, for all the times I didn't shut up about Tales of Xillia, that it is my favorite Tales game and my favorite game of all time, as I just said. Recently, I've just completed my first run of the game, and I've also begun my second run. So, I've acquired a bit of knowledge from being able to play the game firsthand. And I've written down a lot of these things I've learned, so I want to share them with those of you who are interested in the Tales series. Also, just keep in mind that these tips worked for me. However, depending on the circumstances of your playthrough, they may not work for you. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. These tips are in no particular order, so just keep that in mind. Also, as you may have guessed, these tips contain spoilers for Tales of Xillia. You have been warned. Okay, so I was a dumb at first, and I didn't start upgrading my shops with materials until later in the game. I kept using gold, which is this game's form of currency, which is a horrible way to upgrade shops once you get later in the game, and you should be saving your gold for weapons and armor and other items. You may not be someone who typically does side quests, however, I definitely recommend doing the sub-events in this game, which are basically side quests. Not only are they a great way to obtain gold and weapons and other assorted goods, you can go through the whole game and not learn crucial information about certain characters if you don't do certain side quests. IGN has a great guide that covers all the sub-events in the game by chapter, and how to complete them without spoiling them too much. When it comes to grinding in this game, it can be quite time-consuming, and that can definitely take some of the fun out of it. However, Tales of Xillia has these great things called experience foods. Okay, so they're not actually called that, it's just a name I made up, but that's essentially what they are. There are foods in Tales of Xillia that if you eat them, your experience will be increased by a certain percentage for a certain amount of battles. You can find these experience foods anywhere there's a food vendor or some kind of peddler. These foods make grinding so much easier and are a must-have in these games. So, regardless of whether you're playing Judes Run or Mila's Run, one of the first bosses of the game is this guy, Zhao. Now, Zhao actually turns out to be a pretty cool guy, but in the beginning, he's kinda a little bit of a dick. Now, make sure you're leveled up high enough, which I believe anywhere between level 10 to 12 is sufficient by the time you've entered Deepwood, as that's where your first boss battle with Zhao takes place. Don't be like me and get your ass handed to you 11 times until you finally beat him because you're so poorly underleveled. If there's one quest you want to do to obtain an OP weapon in this game, it's definitely Pretty and Pink. You can activate Pretty and Pink in Chapter 1 during your first visit to Sherrilton by talking to two little girls wearing pink. You'll be able to find these girls in the area right in front of Drizel and Klein's manor. You'll know where that is. These two girls refer to themselves as Pinkists, and in order to join them as a true Pinkist, you must retrieve 3 pink items in various locations. I know this sounds a little stupid, but doing so will allow you to gain the best possible weapon for Elise, one of the members of your party. You can find the first item, a peach berry blossom, in Burmia Gorge, the second, a peach elephant tusk, in the royal hunting grounds of Zhandu, and finally, a pink emerald in the Tatalian Abyss on Olympias. For whatever reason, during my first playthrough, I thought that the pink emerald was in Helioborg Fortress, another location on Olympias, which it is not, and I wasted a lot of time looking for it in the wrong place. Just know that the Tatalian Abyss is not a story-required location, so make sure you don't miss it. Also, the enemies there are pretty OP, so you'll want to have plenty of holy bottles, which ward off all enemies. In the beginning of Chapter 4, if you're doing Jude's Run, and on a quick side note, if you're confused about why I keep talking about these runs, basically at the beginning of the game, it gives you the option to either play one of the 2 main characters, Jude and Mila's sides of the game. I'll go into more detail about this with my Tales of Xillia review that will be going up next week. Anyway, In the beginning of Chapter 4, if you're playing Jude's side, you're going to have a bit of a showdown with your good buddy old pal who's trying to kill you, Alvin. Warning. Alvin's boss battle is not a fight you have to win to progress the story, but if you're like me and your pride is easily hurt from losing a boss battle, then I wouldn't take this boss battle lightly. Unless you're super overleveled, then by all means kick Alvin's ass without a care in the world. But if you're not overleveled, like I wasn't, Alvin can be quite a bit of a dick in this fight, so just be aware of that. Presa is a bit of a nuisance during boss battles. She's basically the mage of the Chimeriad, which our good pal Zhao is a part of. I'd say that any boss battle Presa is involved in, you'll always want to take Presa out first, since she's most likely to hit you with some very death-inducing arts. However, I say the only exception to this rule is during the boss battle of just her and fellow member of the Chimeriad, Wingle, where I believe it's best to take out Wingle first, then Presa, but that's just what worked for me. I'm sure others beat the boss just fine by taking Presa out first in that particular fight. Oh, Ivor. Oh, Ivor. Oh, dear God. Ivor. This annoying little bastard is not just annoying in his dialogue, he's annoying in battle too. In the one-on-one battle that Jude and Ivor have, which you will have to do regardless of which route you are playing as, he likes to invade your personal space very frequently. And I get it, it's a fight he's trying to win. But during that fight, you feel like you're in a club and Ivor is trying to grind up on you, and that's just really infuriating. So you're going to definitely have to keep on your toes during this fight. So, in the beginning of Chapter 3 of Judes Route, once you fought Gaius for the first time in Fezabel Marsh, the events that play out afterward will get you stranded as Jude, with a mysterious spirit in your company. The area you end up in is a good place to grind for experience, in my opinion, despite what the IGN guide may tell you. Before getting to this part, I'd suggest stocking up on as much experience food as you can. You'll need it since you won't obtain as much experience as you would with a full party without them. If you run out of experience food, that shouldn't be a problem because if I remember correctly, there should be a nearby peddler that you'll be able to restock items with. Now for my last and what I feel is my most useful piece of advice. In the final battle of the game with Gaius and Musa, do not, and I mean do not attempt to take out Musa before Gaius. While it normally makes more sense to take out the healer first, which Musa plays that role in this battle, not so much in this case. Because once you've taken out Musa a first time, she resurrects herself, making your efforts for naught. The best route, in my opinion, is to take out Gaius first and then Musa, because once Gaius is gone, it's pretty much smooth sailing from there on out. And that's all for my tips for playing Tales of Xillia. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, but if you haven't done so yet, go check out and possibly follow the Raven the Singing Nerd community on the Amino app. There I made a blog post on a video I'm going to need your help with. The most iconic moments of Minecraft Diaries, My Street, and Phoenix Drop High. Be sure to visit the Raven the Singing Nerd community if you're interested in how you can help me with that video. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.